I think one of the I didn't write a speech. I think one of the most important things that I wanted to do today is to kind of like tell you my story, who I am. Maybe it will make sense why I'm standing here today. Because when you grow as a person, as an artist, things get blurry. You become a little bit of like a superhero, like people can't really connect with you because they think everything is perfect. People can't relate because some find you shining already and they don't have a real connection with you. So, ngazalelwe eMlazi, King Edward Hospital. Mhlala E, go 3. I went to Eqondobuhle Primary. From there, Nomdeni, some over, well, me and my siblings, some of us are in Eastern Cape. Some of us are Eastern Cape. And then when I would come back to Durban, Uma Beloge moved because she was renting. She got married very young, you know. So after divorcing, she was like finding her feet. So when we come for holidays, you know, we'll find her staying in a different section. At some point, if you know, you know. He called drink besithenga kaQu next door. Iqeda besithenga ka-H across. Then gibel M&R. He take this and use that 4,000. If you know, you know. And use that 2020. If you know, you know. So I'm from here, and as a developing artist then, I think I fortunately discovered early who I was and who I was supposed to be. And I kind of like stayed in my lane. Sound-wise, approach, Socks is in the house, Tira is here. They were ahead of me at the time. Tira was established. He was organizing shows. Socks used to do house parties. One of the most famous house parties was at his house, where he would book his mom a hotel so he could have the house. And I would come there with the crate of records that was different from whatever sound that was happening. And I would sit and I would wait for my turn. And DJs would go after one another. I would be with my cousin here, Usbu. He knows all these stories. And all I wanted even then was a chance to just play my sound. And so growing up, I nourished this thing. And it developed as I was growing. And it wasn't popular because it was not commercial enough. It was not deep enough, so I was just in between. And I had a very niche crowd in South Africa, like that was kind of like following what I was doing. And fast forward, I get an opportunity to go overseas. For the first time, I started doing shows carrying the same mentality. And this is why today you'll see false news about me being the pioneer of Afro House. And I don't believe so. I think I just came with a different approach from the beginning. What I'm trying to say about that is I'm a kind of guy who likes different approaches, which is why we're here today. I just thought in everything that we've been through as artists of South Africa, why do we always still want handovers? Why can't we form something of our own? Why don't we at least try? Get the right governance, because we are artists. We're gonna fail. We have the left brain, so we need someone with the right brain to carry this thing and commercialize it right, create the right governance around it, and get the right partners, and we raise some funds, and it can help a lot of artists. So in my personal capacity, because I know everyone, I started early in the industry, I get calls, Johannesburg, Durban, if artists are in trouble, they need this, they need that, and I assist where I can. Even at times when I do assist, it always leaves me with a heavy heart, because I know I haven't solved the problem. I know it's gonna come back. Whoever who came to me needing something haven't figured out how to help themselves. So they're gonna come back, and they come back. And if I can, I help again, and they come back, and I say no. And then when I say no, it still leaves me with a heavy heart, because I can't enjoy a glass of wine knowing, someone asked for something and I didn't give them. So on my personal space, it consumed me so much, where I was like, man, how can I solve this problem for myself and for all of us? It's something I've been carrying, So when Tira and Melon told me about tonight and what was happening and the foundation, being honored, and I was like, there's something I've been thinking about for so long. And also, I must say, one of the biggest catalysts of it, when they called me, it was when the El Vovo video went viral, and how he had stroke and he was on radio and it was all over, the internet. And I just sat there thinking, like, what happens next? How can we help? Without it being personal, how can we create structures that, if someone has a problem like that and they need assistance with rehabilitation therapy, with clinical psychologists, with anything that is heavy,